If you're shopping for a serious running watch, you've probably seen the Garmin Forerunner 965. Now, here's a new model, the Forerunner 970. On paper, they look very similar. Same case size, same display type, many shared features. Some details for the 970 are based on reliable leaks and early info, so final specs may differ once Garmin makes it official. In this video, we look into what really changed, what matters, what doesn't, and who should pick which. By the end, you will know which one fits your training goals, budget, and lifestyle. To see the latest prices, specs, and deals, check the links in the description below. First, let's talk design and build. Both watches have a 47mm case and both use a 1.4-inch AMOLED touchscreen display. The Forerunner 965 uses Gorilla Glass 3DX for its display cover. The 970 steps up to sapphire crystal, which is harder and more scratch-resistant. In terms of thickness and weight, the 965 is about 13.2mm thick and weighs 53 grams, while the 970 is slightly thinner, around 12.9mm, but a bit heavier, about 56 grams. Also, new in the 970, a built-in LED flashlight, a speaker, and microphone. These add more utility, especially if you run in low light or want to take calls without pulling out your phone. So design-wise, 970 feels more premium. If you value ruggedness, durability, and extras, those upgrades are meaningful. But the 965 is still solid and looks good. The choice comes down to priorities. If you want a lightweight watch that disappears on your wrist during long runs, the 965 has the edge. But if you don't mind a little extra heft for stronger materials and extra tools, the 970 earns its place as the tougher, more feature-packed opinion. Even small touches like the sleeker finish, sharper display protection, and more polished feel make the 970 stand out if design and build quality are high on your list. Next, health sensors and features. The 965 has Garmin's Elevate Gen 4 optical heart rate sensor. It measures heart rate, blood oxygen, SpO2, stress, sleep, etc. The 970 gets an upgrade with Elevate Gen 5 that promises better accuracy and more features. It adds ECG functionality in regions where that is enabled, skin temperature tracking, improved metrics for things like running economy, step speed loss, and running tolerance. There are also new features like evening report, past ovulation estimates, etc. Useful if you care about wellness, recovery, and detailed training feedback. One important difference here is the level of precision. With the newer Elevate Gen 5 sensor, you're not just getting more data points, you're also getting cleaner signals, especially during high-intensity training, where wrist-based heart rate can sometimes lag. For athletes, that can mean better pacing, smarter recovery suggestions, and more accurate load tracking. For wellness users, features like ECG and skin temperature offer a clearer picture of overall health. The 965 still handles all the essentials very well, but the 970 makes a stronger case for people who want their watch to double as both a training coach and a health monitor. Let's look at sports features, GPS, and training metrics. Both watches support multi-sport modes, mapping, route tracking, offline maps, and core Garmin running metrics, VO2, max, race predictors, etc. The 970 adds new sport profiles, things like more structured multi-sport workouts, more outdoor profiles, possibly improved GPS performance. GPS battery life and modes are also improved in some respects. The 970 includes SAT IQ mode, that's auto-select GNSS, and better multi-band GNSS support. These help track more accurately when you need it. The newer metrics, running economy, impact load factor, running tolerance, etc., are more useful for someone who trains seriously. If your future training or races depend on incremental improvements, those matter. But if you run just for fitness or casual use, the old metrics in the 965 are probably good enough. That being said, Garmin is clearly positioning the 970 as the more advanced athlete's tool. The extra profiles and more precise GPS aren't just small add-ons. They make a noticeable difference if you train across multiple environments, you switch disciplines, or rely heavily on data for performance optimization. For casual runners, this might feel like overkill, but for triathletes, marathoners, or trail explorers, those refinements mean more confidence in your training and race day results. Battery life is where trade-offs show up most clearly. The Forerunner 965 lasts up to 23 days in smartwatch mode, while the 970 is rated for about 15 days. So if you mainly use your watch for notifications, health tracking, and the occasional run, the 965 will stretch further between charges. When it comes to GPS-only mode, the 965 can manage around 31 hours, while the 970 comes in closer to 26 hours. Again, the older model pulls slightly ahead for basic GPS tracking. Things shift a little when you look at Sat IQ or auto-select GNSS modes. Here, the 965 gets about 22 hours, while the 970 squeezes out a touch more at 23 hours. In all systems, multi-band GPS, the 965 manages about 19 hours compared to roughly 21 hours on the 970. So in more demanding tracking scenarios, the newer watch holds its own better. Finally, for GPS with music, the 965 lasts just over 10 hours, while the 970 stretches closer to 14 hours. That's a pretty big gap if you like running short distances with your playlists. So what does this mean overall? The 970 gains back time in high drain modes like GPS with music or multi-band GPS, but it loses stamina in smartwatch mode and day-to-day use. The extra sensors, brighter display, speaker, and mic all draw more power. If you mostly want a long-lasting smartwatch that you charge less often, the 965 is still the winner. But if you rely on advanced modes and push the watch hard, the 970 will serve you better in those specific cases. Now let's talk about the extra smart features, because this is where the 970 really separates itself. The Forerunner 970 comes with a built-in speaker and microphone. That means you can take phone calls directly on your wrist, interact with your phone's voice assistant, or even get audible alerts during workouts. The 965 doesn't have this, so if you ever wished you could leave your phone in your pocket or bag and still handle calls, the 970 is the better choice. Another big upgrade is the LED flashlight. It might sound small, but it's surprisingly practical, whether you're finishing a late evening run, camping, or just trying to find your keys in the dark. The 965 misses out here. On the software side, the 970 also introduces new features like the Evening Report, which gives you a summary of your sleep quality, tomorrow's training load, and even upcoming weather. Add in extra sport profiles and improved user interface, voice commands, and updated training metrics, and the 970 starts to feel like more of a complete smart companion than just a running watch. Of course, it comes down to whether you'll actually use these extras. If you value simplicity and don't care about calls, voice control, or a flashlight, the 965 still holds its own as a reliable performance watch. But if you like having more utility and convenience in one device, the 970 is designed for you. Let's talk price and value, because that's where decisions get real. The Forerunner 965 launched at around $599.99 US. The Forerunner 970 comes in at around $749.99. So, you're paying about $150 more for the 970. What do you get for that extra cash? The upgrades I listed: better screen cover, added sensors, speaker, mic, flashlight, new metrics. Here's who I think should buy which. Buy the Forerunner 965 if you want a premium running watch without paying for every new sensor. You prioritize long battery life in smartwatch mode and simple, reliable performance. You don't care about LED flashlight, voice calls, or ECG. Your training is serious but not ultra advanced, or you're okay with older metrics. And buy the Forerunner 970 if you want tougher build and durability, sapphire glass, speaker, flashlight, etc. You train a lot, you want advanced metrics and more precision. You value smart extras like voice calls, richer health tracking. You don't mind charging more often in certain modes. So, which should you actually buy? If you run regularly, want reliable performance, and care about battery life above all else, the 965 is excellent. But if you're pushing your limits, you want the newest sensors and more features, the 970 is the better fit. Either way, both watches are very good. It just comes down to what features you'll actually use. For current pricing, variants, and more details, I've left links in the description below. Check those before you make your decision. Thank you so much for watching, and if this helped, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more comparisons like this, so you can always pick what's best for you.